You've been told the AI revolution is about chips. You've been told it's about GPUs, but they lied. Or at least, they only told you half the story. The real war, the one that decides who actually gets to build the future, is being fought at the atomic level. Welcome to the 2026 Global Semiconductor Materials Audit. I'm your host from HDIN Research, and today, we're looking at the, quote, silent masters of the tech world. Let's see who's winning the gold rush and who's just selling broken shovels. If 2023 was the year the chip industry caught a cold, 2025 is the year it started running a marathon on steroids. We're seeing a structural explosion driven by AI. But here's the kicker. Size doesn't always mean safety. While giants like Qnity are scaling up, we found some financial craters in this industry that could swallow a small country's GDP. Stick around, because the data we're about to show you is the difference between a smart investment and a massive regret. Let's talk about the big boys club. Qnity Electronics is sitting on a throne worth $4.7 billion. To put that in perspective, that's enough to buy a fleet of private jets for every CEO in Silicon Valley. But look closer at the gap. Merck is chasing them, and Entegris is holding the middle ground. The action title here tells the real story. Qnity has a 35% cash cushion. In this industry, cash isn't just king. It's the oxygen you need when the market gets volatile. Where is the pulse of this industry? It's not in Silicon Valley, it's in Asia. Look at this donut chart. China and the broader APAC region represent nearly 80% of the entire pie. If a butterfly flaps its wings in a fab in Taiwan, the tech world gets a hurricane. This isn't just a map, it's a reminder that for materials leaders, being local in Asia isn't an option, it's survival. Here's the wow factor. Every time you ask ChatGPT a question, a wafer somewhere is being scrubbed, filtered, and polished. Advanced chips don't just use more materials, they use 5 times more. Think of it like this. If an old chip was a simple burger, an AI chip is a 12-course Michelin-starred meal. Qnity and Entegris aren't just suppliers. They are the chefs, and they're charging premium prices for every single ingredient. Now let's look at the moneymaker. MKS Instruments' MSD division has a gross margin of 54%. That's not a business. That's a license to print money. Why? Because they own the secret sauce for electroplating. When you have a technical monopoly, you don't ask for a price, you dictate it. This is MBB-level strategy. Find a niche so hard to replicate that you can charge whatever you want to cover your bills. But wait, there's a hole in the pocket. MKS bought Atotech, and it cost them a fortune. They're carrying a debt burden of 69%. Imagine having a credit card bill so high that you're paying $200 million a year just in interest. On the flip side, look at Element Solutions, ESI. They're the frugal genius of the group. Low debt, high stability. In a market crash, I know which house I'd rather be hiding in. Efficiency isn't sexy, but it's how you win. Look at this table. It's a measure of how fast can you turn stuff into cash. Element Solutions is moving inventory like a New York street vendor 5 times a year. Meanwhile, Entegris is a master of collecting their lunch money with a DSO of only 52 days. If you aren't turning your inventory into cash quickly in this industry, you're just holding expensive paperweights. The regulators are coming, and they have quote-quote-quote green teeth. PFAS, the so-called forever chemicals, are being banned. Most companies are sweating, but Merck is smiling. They're racing to be the first to go PFAS-free by 2027. In the consulting world, we call this turning a regulation into a moat. If you're the only one who can sell the clean stuff, you own the future market. Where are we going? The road to a $1.6 trillion industry is paved with nanomaterials. We are moving from simple chips to systems on packages. By 2030, the materials you see today will be considered, quote, ancient history. If you aren't planning for heterogeneous integration now, you're already behind the curve. The world is deglobalizing, and these companies are building fortresses. Qnity and Merck are sourcing 70% of their materials locally. Why? Because if a trade war starts tomorrow, they want to make sure their factory in Taiwan or China still has the lights on. It's local for local, and it's the only way to buffer the geopolitical turbulence of 2026. Why do these guys keep winning? 3 words: moats, moats, moats. First, switching costs. Changing a supplier in a fab is like trying to change your heart mid-surgery. It's too risky. Second, atomic precision. You can't just Google how to filter chemicals at a 2-nanometer level. And third, it's a subscription model. 90% of Qnity's revenue is recurring. They aren't just selling a product, they're selling the air. The industry breathes. Look at this curve. It's not just going up, it's accelerating. While legacy chips are growing at 4%, the advanced stuff, the brains of AI, is growing at more than double that rate. This is where the smart money is moving. We're looking at a 10-year supercycle that is just getting started. Our final verdict from HDIN Research? Advanced materials aren't just peripherals anymore. They are the new hardware bottleneck. If you want to understand the future of technology, stop looking at the screens and start looking at the chemistry. Because the future isn't just digital, it's material. Thanks for watching our 2026 Semiconductor Materials Deep Dive. If you want the full-page data-heavy report, or if you need customized benchmarking for your firm, reach out to us at sales@hdinresearch.com. Visit our website at hdinresearch.com for more alpha. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell, because in this industry, the data changes every second. See you in the next one.